Hey scrapbookers and crafters, this is Michelle Sizemore, advisor with Creative Memories, and today you'll learn how to make this layered water using 3 different colors of blue and aqua, and it's pretty easy to make. We used this border cutting tool. It's one of our new tools that goes with the custom cutting system at Creative Memories. I'm going to use this edge. It's like a slow wave. I can't remember the exact name of that edge that they call it. And then I'm going to use this red blade. So the first piece I want to cut is this dark blue. So you need a straight edge on one side of it. That would go at the bottom of your page. And the others don't have to have a straight edge because they're going to tuck in underneath. But we'll start with the blue one. I'm going to line this up just to keep it straight with that top white line and the white line on the far right. Okay, and I want this to be about as wide. You can make this as wide as you want it to be. I'm going to position mine here where this little pointy edge comes out about like a ½ inch past this. That's kind of like my visual, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about as wide as I like it to be. Then you're going to take your blade. It's got 2 little notches. You're going to put those inside this track here. They have to both be in there. Okay, and then cut. And I'm pressing really firm as I cut, because when it goes around the curvy edges, if you don't press firm, it can miss a spot pretty easy. But if you felt like you missed a spot, I know I didn't because this broke away, but if it didn't, you could always keep it in the exact position and go back. The blade works forwards and backwards. Okay, so I am very happy with that as my base piece of my water. So the next color I'm going to cut is this aqua. And there is a little trick to that, because I want my colors to show, well, the swells to kind of not be exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to position this one at the top, very top of my mat, and line it up against the white line on the right. And then I'm going to position this and cut. Now it does not really matter how wide I cut it, as long as it's wide enough, because the bottom edge is going to be tucked underneath the darker blue. So I'm going to go at about like, so actually I'm going to use this side as my reference point. I'm going to cut it about the same. We're about a ½ inch shows past there. Put both of the little notches in there and cut the same way you did before. And we're going to see how this turned out. Now, I need to snip that with my micro scissors because it didn't quite cut, so I had to tear it off a little bit. So I'm just going to snip it to make it have a smooth edge. Okay, let's see how this looks. I want this layer to poke out past this layer, but I don't want the waves to hit at exactly the same spot. And this is perfect. It's just like a slow wave. So that's good. Now I'm going to cut my light blue piece and I'm going to place it at a different spot. I didn't have a scrap of this, so we're going to work with a whole sheet. I always love using up my scraps before I use a whole sheet. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom of my mat and over to that right-hand side just to line it up. And then again, I'm going to place this, and I want this pointy part to come out about a ½ inch or an inch past the blue cardstock. So it doesn't have to be exact because, again, part of it's going to be tucked underneath. So as long as there's enough for the curvy parts to poke out past the aqua. And again, when you position it all the way at the bottom, sometimes at the very edge, the blade doesn't do a clean cut. So I'm just going to snip that because I had to tear it just a tad. Okay, I'm done with the mat and with these two things. This is extra. So let's see how this is going to look. It's kind of messy on the back. I'm going to press down just because there's a little raised area where it cut. And also I see a little place where I need to snip it where it didn't do a complete clean cut. Okay, so let's see how this will look. I'm going to put this on top of this. Let's go ahead and do that because I know I like that. So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner at the bottom of the aqua and just little dabs all along the bottom edge. Position this where I like it. You can let as much of that aqua show as you like. I like it about like that. I think that's so pretty. And then we're going to see how this looks. Yeah, that's going to be great. So you want a little bit of that light blue to stick out. Let's turn it over and see which side looks best. Okay, I like this side because I want it to be a little different than this. So we're going to position this right here. So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the bottom of this second layer in little dabs. And we're going to position it. I'm going to need to trim that a little bit, I can tell. And you can let as much of that show as you want, that light blue. But I think that is so pretty. Gives you a tricolor water. Makes me think of the water at the Bahamas or at St. Lucia where it's like different shades of blue and aqua. And just because it's not completely even here, I'm going to take my other scissors, my regular scissors, and cut to make them completely even with the blue. I think that blue had been cut a little bit, so they weren't all exactly the same. That's why I had to do that. And let's see, and this edge just needs to be cleaned up just a tiny bit so that they're all level. This is okay. This is great, and this was so easy to do. And then I would place this at the bottom of my paper or cardstock or page. I need to clean that up just a tad. Pretend this is like a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. You could put some tape runner on the back at the top and the bottom and try to get all the curvy pieces. And you would want to position it all at the bottom. Now you could use any color paper that coordinates, 12 by 12 paper, and then you could put it in a top loading sleeve, or you could actually scrapbook on your actual page. I think this would be pretty to scrapbook on Spargo pages because they're kind of like the color of sand, and it would kind of be pretty with a beachy page. Now, this is not quite long enough, and that's only because I didn't realize my blue wasn't exactly 12 inches when I used my scrap. But I, of course, would make sure I used 12 by 12 when I was actually making a page. So pretend that's not there. So that's really easy. It's an easy way to make water. And I hope you like that. And I hope helps you make some fun summer pages. Summer, tropical, beach, pool, all kinds of summer stuff. Thanks for watching.